You won't believe what shocking twist is about to happen next. He really wanted to return her death to him, but he was too chicken to do it. He wanted to serve her death back to him, but just couldn't get the guts. Nakamura started questioning everything in life, especially since his dad was a police officer. Due to work commitments, his dad missed his wife's funeral and couldn't be by her side. This absence became the root of Nakamura's resentment towards his father, and he never spoke to him again. But after his dad was murdered saving a little girl, Nakamura finally saw his hero's side and a sliver of respect bloomed. Nakamura wanted to be a protector like his father, but when he stepped onto that path, reality hit hard. This road wasn't quite what he expected. He didn't surpass his father's bravery, but did manage to save someone else's kid. But he forgot about his own kid, and Nakamura started regretting his choice to be a cop. At that moment, he had no clue that this was all part of Frogman's mind games. Frogman was just out to wreck Nakamura's perspective, trying to raise his sense of justice and make him his best buddy. Finally, Nakamura finished the puzzle with 997 pieces, 3 letters left. Nakamura was stunned, then glanced at the burger on the floor and noticed the meat was suspiciously red. He couldn't bear to think anymore, quickly typed those 3 letters, and the door opened to reveal their kitchen. The burger he ate was made right here, but on the plate was raw meat with a hair attached. What on earth had he been eating? The answer was obvious, but scarier was the refrigerator adorned with photos of Mei Sha and Liang Jai. A chill ran down Nakamura's spine when he shook and opened the freezer inside with the frozen heads of his wife and child. Nakamura screamed in agony, while Frogman almost giggled, unaware of Mei Sha and Liang Jai were actually trapped in their wax figures, were creating a horrifying spectacle in front of the mother and son duo. Frogman started teaching Mei Sha about skipping breaks during the day, like who did she think she was trying to live a normal life? She ought to reevaluate her beloved partner, because this was their collaborative project. This made Mei Sha sob uncontrollably, and Frogman then headed to find Nakamura. Watching Nakamura suffer over the heads of his family, Frogman was quite pleased and then intentionally spilled the details of how Liang Jai begged for mercy and how he dealt with him. These detailed pieces of information were sufficient to push Nakamura over the edge, causing him to ultimately lose control and forget entirely that he was a policeman, with his sole focus being to make Frogman pay for his actions. After Frogman ran outside, he got ambushed by another accomplice. This was getting way too dramatic. Frogman suddenly dropped to his knees, shaking violently, and when Nakamura noticed something was wrong and moved closer, he unexpectedly heard Mei Sha's voice. He jerked off the mask abruptly, only to be horrified by the revelation that Frogman actually intended for both of them to perish together. How excruciating and agonizing this must have been for Liang Jai, who witnessed it all. Creating this masterpiece, that's on me. It'll set you free, but I can survive this, sir. Don't be shy, hurry up and kill me. You're such a loser. Frogman is using this extreme method to test humanity. He wanted to see who the real weakling was. Make me proud. Nakamura suddenly gripped his gun and aimed it at Mei Sha's heart. Frogman was filled with anticipation. But when he pulled the trigger, Nakamura aimed it elsewhere altogether. Frogman shot Nakamura in the chest, but only grazed his own arm. Totally didn't affect his performance. He propped Mei Sha's head on his shoulder, ready to take the family on one last journey. Just at that life and death moment, reinforcements from the precinct arrived, making things complicated again. You had better get out of here right now. Just scram and leave. Frogman didn't think twice before dashing outside, but forgot he wasn't wearing his mask. What a joke in broad daylight. The sun was like daggers piercing his face, and shortly thereafter, he was left in a bloody mess, filled with agony. In the intense pain, Frogman suddenly collapsed. He wasn't dead yet, but he had to be revived to face trial for his heinous acts. However, during his hospital stay, his sister visited him as a family member. Looking at her disfigured brother, she felt a whirlwind of emotions, especially seeing that Scar was fresh. Clearly, her psychological fears fueled Frogman's gruesome killings. After witnessing their parents' death, this pair of siblings buried their pain deep within. They seemed to dull their own inner sharpness through the pain of others. But Frogman preferred direct action, while his sister was all about theory. Talk about a classic sibling difference. In the end, his sister injected Frogman with a canister of poison. What a calm resolution. And just like that, Frogman's reign of evil came to an end, but tragedy seeds were sprouting elsewhere. Zhongcun survived thanks to prompt rescue and started cherishing time with his family, but childhood emotional scars and traumatic events still haunted him.